Hey everybody, welcome back to story 2. All right, this one is called Those That Talk and Those That Do. All right, so how'd this phrase come about? Well, a long time ago, again, when I was training with my friend Joe, great guy, long time, forever martial art mentor, he and I were working out in our old school, and we were working with a guy named Charlie. Now, Charlie was a good guy. He wasn't a regular of our school. I believe his instructor was a friend of our instructors, and he would occasionally come and train at our school when he was in the area. And he was a senior student. He was a good guy. He was a good student. But he had kind of a very philosophical take on things and about training, which is fine. But sometimes he would just kind of talk a lot about it. Sometimes it became a lot. But I mean, overall, a good guy, good student. So this one particular time, myself, Joe, and this person, Charlie, we were going to be working on a bunkai. Now, if you don't know what that is, a bunkai is when you do application to your form. Okay, so if you're doing some kind of kata, like if you're doing a block and a punch in your kata, the bunkai would be someone to actually throw a punch at you so that you could block that punch and then throw your counter punch. Okay? So we were going to be working on something called Seizan bunkai. So the three of us go in this other part of the school to go work on this bunkai. And we're going through it, and everything's going good. And, Charlie, of course, is going through his, feel your chi. Feel this through the movement as you're doing this. You want to feel the energy. And again, nothing wrong with it. It was just getting to be a lot. And I could see he was kind of getting to Joe, too. So at one point, Joe was supposed to throw a punch at Charlie. He was supposed to step back and block and then throw a counter kick. So they get set up, and Charlie's again saying, "Oh yeah, you want to feel the energy flowing through your punch." And Joe goes, "Okay, are you ready?" Charlie goes, "Yep." So Joe hauls off, and he nails Charlie right square in the chest, just solid. Now it wasn't mean, it wasn't malicious. When you're doing a bunkai, that's what you're supposed to do. When you're the attacker, it's your job to try to tag the person, not hurt them. But you do try to tag them, especially if they didn't get out of the way in time or didn't block right. It's your job to tag them so that they know they need to work on that. All right. And Charlie was a good student. They say he was a senior student. He completely understood that. Right. So he wasn't mad or anything like that. In fact, he kind of smiled and looked at Joe and said, "Oh, that was a good punch." And Joe said, "Yeah. Don't know if I felt my chi, but it felt good when I punched you in the chest." Now, of course, I'm on the sidelines there, trying not to laugh because I think that's hilarious. But it was shortly after that that the phrase, those that do and those that talk, evolved in our school. So I love this story because I just feel it's so applicable to everything that we do, right? I mean, look at the beginning of the year. How many people talk about losing weight? How many people really do it? And from a training perspective, how many people really just talk, and how many people really put in the hours? I put in those people that say, "Oh, I would just do X in this situation." They're talkers because they never actually put themselves in that position to press their chest to see if X will ever work, right? Or just the trash talkers and that kind of thing. Then you have the people that just steadily again, do the work, like we said in the first video. They're doing it. They're getting it done. They're not talking about it. And I've found in my experience that, the people that are really good, they don't talk a lot. They let their actions speak for them. I think that's just awesome when someone's like that. You don't need to do a lot of talking. If you're good and you're doing your thing, people will take notice. You don't need to do a lot of talking. Let people talk about how good you are just because they see what you're doing. So take time each day to see where you fall on that equation. I know personally, like with the videos, I talk about, I gotta do that next video. Sometimes it's just talk until I actually sit down and make myself do it. And that's what I have to do. So again, each day, see where you fall on that equation and make sure you fall on the doing side. All right, everyone, have a great day. And hopefully you'll join me for the next story called Get Back Up. Thanks a lot, guys. Talk to you soon.